we have is Sam Jones. Sam is the head of communications and public affairs for University Alliance, and it's an organization working with 24 of the most innovative and enterprising universities in the UK to promote, safeguard, and sustain the public benefits delivered by universities. He joined the Alliance from the Department for Business, Innovation and Skills, where he oversaw communications with the Secretary of State, Vince Cable, and Peter Mandelson before him. Prior to this, Sam held various communication roles across government and the private sector, including Harris. Sam lives in Winchester with his wife and 2 children, where he is a governor of the local primary school.
Well, thanks for having me here. It's great to be here and see kind of students at the forefront thinking about the future of higher education. I just want to talk about 3 questions that we've been looking at a lot at University Alliance and hopefully frame some of the discussion. Firstly, what does the future look like for universities and the graduate job market? What is driving and motivating students now? And finally, how can students be preparing for the future to stand out in a global jobs market? And we had an introduction just then about University Alliance, but we're 24 universities, including to Montfort, that have a strong focus on enterprise and innovation and really working closely with employers and businesses to help graduates get into the ever-changing job market. We've got 1/4 of all students in the UK, including 60,000 international students. For the last year, we've been working on a project called University Vision that's been very much about looking at what the future might look like. We've used a scenario-based exercise to kind of map out potential futures and what that might mean for universities and graduates. Actually, we've created a short animation. If you search for University Vision on Vimeo, you can watch that later. Now, obviously, we all know the future is going to look very different. What this project has enabled us to do is just to kind of frame the debate about the future and ask some of the big questions. We've looked at factors like the massive projected growth of the digital economy and what that will mean for the graduate job market. So it's predicted that the global internet economy will be worth $4.2 trillion by 2016. If it was a country, it would be the 5th largest in the world. It would be bigger than the total UK economy. And growth sectors such as digital are going to bring with them jobs that we can't even imagine now. This will not just be, these won't be just slightly different jobs, they'll be completely different to what we see today. They'll require an entirely different set of graduate attributes. Nevertheless, we have a unique struggle with this in the UK. The belief that there are too many graduates, too many universities, and that a degree isn't as valuable as it once was. I think there's a discussion about this later on, which will be really interesting. Elsewhere around the world, there is a greater understanding that human capital is what makes or breaks a country, and that the role of higher education plays in creating human capital is more widely accepted, and consequently the proportion of public funding for higher education is greater in most developed countries. Obama has declared that he wants the US to out-innovate and out-educate the rest of the world. BRIC in developing countries are pumping huge amounts into their growing education system. While there is an element of this being visionary governments investing in the future, it also comes down to a different set of public values that place greater emphasis on the power of knowledge in securing the country's future. If we are going to be in a position to grasp the opportunities that the changing global knowledge and digital economy presents, we'll need an innovative and knowledgeable workforce. And for that, we need an innovative and growing higher education sector preparing tomorrow's professionals. If that isn't enough to make people see that a degree is still very much a worthwhile investment to cut it in the changing global jobs market, there's also the fact that graduate employment and graduate earnings have been protected during the economic downturn, despite headlines saying the contrary. In addition to that, the part of the job market that has grown the most in the last 10 years are the occupations that require a high proportion of graduates. That's accounted for 3/4 of all employment growth between 2000 and 2010. But behind the stats and these statements, there's the basic desire of students who want to get a good job and have a successful career after they graduate. Students, wherever they're from, want to ensure that their degree and their time at university university will help equip them with the experience, knowledge, flexibility and resilience to set them up for a rewarding and fulfilling career in this rapidly changing world. Increasingly, you will not just be competing with graduates from universities down the road, but graduates from all over the world. And this increased competition presents challenges, but also huge opportunities. I just want to talk briefly about some of the ways universities are helping graduates stand out from the crowd. Alliance universities have some really innovative ways of doing this. In fact, just this week we launched a report that shows that international students whose main motivation is getting a good job are more likely to choose to study at Alliance universities. So why are international students choosing Alliance universities, and what can we learn from what these universities are offering to stand out in a globally competitive job market? So firstly, there's just an approach to employability at Alliance universities that spans everything that the university does. This is moving beyond just the kind of add-on career service. So for example, at Coventry University, just down the road, they have an advantage scheme. This is one of the most innovative and comprehensive employability programs in the UK, with more than 12,000 undergraduates taking advantage modules each year. These modules are designed to enhance employability and support the growing number of students who want to set up their own business after graduation. 2 modules have been developed in association with IBM and Jaguar Land Rover, giving students unique industry insights and experiences, as well as gaining guidance for graduate recruitment. The second is work experience, which in a highly competitive labour market is often expected. A placement gives students a head start in finding graduate employment. Alliance universities provide more than half of year-long in-course placements in the UK, and more than a third of those students go on to get employment with that company. Embedding employability is not at the expense of good subject-specific learning. A great example of this in-course opportunity is the approach to delivering media and digital technologies at University of Salford. Students are located at Media City alongside the BBC, ITV, and leading post-production companies. The location, facilities and partnerships of Media City place Salford students in a prime position for digital and media careers. Similarly, at Glamorgan, they've got a partnership with British Airways. Aircraft engineering students are seen here in the university's Aerospace Centre, graduate with professional accreditation and a degree, and will have worked alongside industry professionals with the latest industry input. And just finally, something that often gets missed out of these discussions about the graduate job market, more and more graduates are looking to start up their own businesses. And again, this is an area that Alliance universities have a lot of experience in. Over half of all turnover from graduate startups comes from businesses started by Alliance graduates. Students are therefore craving enterprise and entrepreneurship support as part of their degree. An example of this is the University of Hertfordshire, which provides enterprise activities such as incubation and mentoring for students and graduates. Enterprise activities are beneficial for students looking to start up businesses, but actually also for students to just build resilience and flexibility, which is required more and more in the global jobs market. So international competition brings with it huge opportunities, and I think if graduates and society as a whole are going to make the most of those opportunities, we need to ensure that universities are doing all they can to help and support students, but also that students are making the most of what's on offer. Thank you.